Hey, it's your boy Hendo checking Hendo coming to y'all with another video. And today we got, is hood culture necessary for Black Americans? Is it even Black culture? Is it a part of Black culture? Is it not? We got people arguing both ways. Me personally, I feel like hood culture is necessary in Black culture, although all aspects of hood culture isn't good. But I feel like that's in every culture. Like white people have trailer park culture, or the white trash culture, or Italians have the mafia culture or the mob culture. Mexicans have the cartel culture or the Sicario culture, or it goes on and on and on. Every group has this, you know what I mean? And I feel like an aspect of that is because in the last 25 years, our world has been changing so much and progressing so much that it's hard for us. Like, I feel like our cultures are changing. We're becoming less. I mean, we've been, since with the industrial age, less hunter-gatherer, but now we're truly getting into where you don't even have to get up and go get your own food anymore. You don't even have to leave your house if you don't want to. You know what I mean? We're truly getting into that dystopian future, part of our evolution, I guess. And I believe that warrior culture that we used to have back in the day, the warrior, every tribe had its warriors. Every tribe had that culture. Every tribe had that get-together. I feel like now that is transformed into gangs with the industrial age. So every group now has its bad apples, you know what I mean? And I don't believe that the hood only is about gangs, you know what I mean? Because there's beauty in the struggle no matter where you go, you know what I mean? Like, you can go to the poorest country in the world and go to the poorest village, and although they might not have much and they might be damn near starving, they're still smiling. I guarantee it. They're still gonna find a reason to smile or a way to smile. And that's how you get through life, you know what I mean? And so people like to look at the hood like, oh, it's only ghetto culture. But honestly, everything in Black culture that everyone knows comes from ghetto culture. Like, Malcolm X was a part of ghetto culture. I'm sure MLK has some family members that was some hood type niggas. You know what I mean? Like, the hood culture is important, but I don't think all aspects of it is necessary. And I feel like a lot of people try to push it away like, oh, no, that's not Black culture, because they don't want to identify with it. And two, they don't want to accept the negatives with the positives. And that's how people are with everything in life. They want all the positives without the negative aspects of it. It doesn't work that way. Culture is not just a monolith. It's not just in college. They want to say, well, what about Black colleges, and what about this? Well, you guys go to Black colleges, not everyone, but some of you guys go to Black colleges and pledge Greek. You're not even pledging an African tribe or nothing like that. You're pledging Greek. Like, it's weird. But there's also great aspects of college culture and the HBCU culture, and yeah, that's Black culture too. But so is the hood culture, the slang, the way people talk, the things they do. It's not all about the gangs. Like, I done met some of the smartest niggas I ever met in my life, smarter than any white person I ever met, come straight out of prison. They ain't got nothing to do in there and read. I met a dude, my cousin, he could tell me the distance from the moon to the sun. He could tell you different stars and the distance and what stars are made up of, and because the nigga had nothing but time to read. You know what I mean? He know the Quran like the back of his hand. So hood culture is not just about the negatives. I feel like a lot of people are educated in hood culture. There's a lot of hustlers in hood culture. Although they might not be hustling the right thing, these are true businessmen in the full sense of the word. You know what I mean? They're just hustling what they got available to them. You know what I mean? They don't have that degree. They didn't have that what a lot of these real businessmen have, these CEOs of these companies. There's niggas running street level multi-million-dollar businesses. You know what I mean? So I think hood culture is a big part of Black culture. To me, damn near the biggest part of Black culture. Visually, not the biggest part in the world, not the biggest part of Black culture. Like, it's all of Black culture, and that's what Black culture is made out of. But visually, what has been pushed to the masses by the American elites is the hood aspect of Black culture. And although that has gave the world some great things, it has also portrayed us in a negative way. I do see that too. So, it goes back and forth, guys. It goes back and forth. But I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer. Like, comment, subscribe, hype this video up. Let's look at other people's perspectives, and let me know what you think in the comments, because a lot of people feel like we just need to throw that all the way out. I don't feel like just like with bad rap, like with the Sexy Reds and the people rapping about crazy stuff like that, the Chirac rappers and stuff like that only rap about murder. I don't think we need to throw that out. I do think, because that's a way of them expressing themselves and they have a right to that. But I do think we need age restrictions on it at least, and grown-ups who are grown-ups need to stop glorifying that shit. Stop playing it around your family, your kids. Like, it's cool if you want to listen to it while you're in a room with adults. Y'all listen to whatever you want. But when you're around kids, be more mindful. But let's go.
I'm gonna wake you up with this one.
We have to separate Black culture
from hood culture. They are not the same thing. When somebody's sagging their pants and talking in an ignorant way, I don't say that that's black culture. That's hood culture. That is not being black.
You know, even though y'all know my hood, I have a hood brand. So I'm grateful for that. But, you know, I think hood is good too. When you do the right things, but then you take it somewhere and you can reach back and see the same situations and transform people, you know, in the spaces that is more helpful and supportive to them. So that's what I do. So I have a social enterprise, like I said, I know what a social enterprise is. Spring Learning Academy is a coaching and development online school. I started that in 2014.
We're going to get positive today. Name one good thing about growing up in the hood.
Really, you just learn how to make something out of nothing, put stuff together, like, you know, and survive. Like, you know, and I could do that. I'm fully confident that I could do that anywhere you put me, around in any environment. And it's because of the environment I grew up in.
Got you. I agree with that 1000%. Yes, the hood makes you resilient. You feel like you could be put anywhere because you came from somewhere that not a lot of people survive through. At least with a right mind.
I think a lot of these recent Young Thug interviews are good examples of like what incel culture, toxic masculinity, and patriarchy looks like in the black community and in like the hood and hood niggas and street shit. I feel like there was a lot of points where this nigga kept saying shit like, oh, like, yeah, because I'm a real man. Like, I don't think my wife should have therapy. She don't need no therapist. I don't even feel like a real man if my girl got a therapist. And da-da-da-da-da. Like, equating so many things, whether it be to the street shit, the snitching shit, the pillow talking or whatever, to like being a real man or whatever the fuck that is. And I feel like this is kind of where like street niggas kind of get red pilled with like this ideology that ties like the streets and loyalty to, sometimes it's almost like this weird homoerotic loyalty where it's like niggas is more loyalty to their bros than they girl type shit, or their wife or their woman. Like, it's a lot of these different weird little tropes that kind of fall into some of these different things. Or like sometimes you'll see niggas like, yo, like bitches ain't shit, bro, fuck females, yo, females this and females that, da 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 da. Like certain verbiage and shit, it doesn't necessarily sound as like on the nose as like your body my choice or some of the other shit that you hear in some of these like red pill spaces. But I definitely do think that some of the, you know, the inner city black, more so like hood niggas have some of that same type of red pill ideology going around in our communities. It's just harder to spot because it doesn't necessarily look like Kyle Rittenhouse or Nick Fuentes or some shit like that, but it definitely does exist.
You see, this is where I start not to like the shit, because I feel like people get it mixed up. They want to say, oh, all the street shit, and the street shit is not hood culture. So Michelle Obama comes from the hood. Like, are we serious? Like, street shit is not just hood culture. There's plenty of people in the hood who don't involve themselves in street shit. There's plenty of people in the hood who go all their life in the hood, make it out, and they work a normal job at fucking Target down the way and still live in the hood right now, never joined the gang. Yeah, they know gang members, they live around them. Yeah, they know these they folks, but they don't fuck around. They go to work, might come home, drink them a little wine, or drink, or smoke, or do whatever they do. They chill at their house. That's what they do. They from the hood. There's plenty of doctors that come from the hood. There's plenty of lawyers that come from the hood. So we can't just equate the hood to street culture. That's what I'm saying. The street culture is not black culture. We won't go there, because that's why I feel like a lot of people try to push. They say hood, but what they really mean to say is that street culture is black culture. Street culture doesn't come from black people. Street culture, I mean, we've always had culture of hanging out and things like that. But at the same time, that's mafia had been doing crazy shit. They was killing politicians, and they said they have a hand in killing JFK, a president. So we got full terrorist organizations out here, and then you got street criminal gangs that we talking about. And they came before us, and then there was the Irish the mafia, and there's other mafias, you know what I mean? So, and there's the KKK. So, I mean, like, bro, we gotta stop trying to equate street culture to the hood. Street culture is street culture. There's plenty of suburban niggas who come from the suburbs, but drive down to the hood or bus down to the hood or however they get there, ask their mama for their allowance or whatever, get to the hood just to do hood shit. Like just to fit that character. You know what I mean? That character. So we can't act like, oh, street shit only goes on in the hood in that street. Now I will say he's right. Street culture is kind of red pillish, incelish, retarded, blind loyalty. One thing he did say that really got to me was the niggas would be more loyal to another nigga than their girl. Like, we'll be out with another nigga cheating on your girl, but then, oh, I can't tell on the homie. I'll leave my family, my kids for 20 years before I tell on the homie type shit. Like, it's weird, bro. It's weird. It's weird. We all know it's weird, but that's not hood culture. Hood culture is the candy lady down there, a couple doors down, you and all your friends piecing up some change to go there. Hood culture is, you know, the fun shit we do, like making a big fort in the back of the fucking wherever the fuck we is, ding dong ditching in the apartments, you know what I mean, hanging out, you know what I mean, just doing fun shit. That's hood culture. It's auntie have a barbecue at the end, everybody can go to her house and eat. You get into it with your family, you can go stay at your friend's house because her mama gonna take care of you. She know your mama, and she gonna make sure you straight, and your mama gonna be okay knowing you down there. Like, that's hood culture. That's hood culture. It also comes with negative aspects, but that is a big part of hood culture.
This needs to be said. We have to separate black culture from hood culture. They are not the same thing.
Bro is actively saying that with a do-rag on his head. But black culture and hood culture pretty much go hand to hand with each other. I don't know why people try to act like hood culture and black culture aren't the same thing, but it's definitely the same thing. Now, could you not like some parts of hood culture? Sure, why not? But at the end of the day, most things that black people do can kind of go hand to hand with like hood culture, you know what I'm saying? To me, being hood doesn't always equate to like something negative. He goes into the whole like sagging your pants, guns, all that other extra stuff. But there's also like subtle things you can do that could be considered hood culture. Like, for example, people who just hold around wads of cash even though there's a bank system. Like, I don't do it, but there's niggas to this day that would literally get their paycheck, go to the bank, and just take all their money out and just keep it on them. Shit, wearing a do-rag or wearing a bonnet could be considered hoodish if you think about it, because every hood nigga I know wearing a freaking do-rag or a freaking bonnet somewhere. Every culture has a good and a bad to it. The white people, the Asians, the Indians, the Mexicans, everybody got some bad stuff to their culture. And it's really up to the people to embrace it and handle it within the respective communities, of course. Like we all know, man, you know, we got our blacks and we got our niggas. And we love them both, all right? But we are not about to say the way these niggas is acting ain't black. And if you're a black person and you feel like hood culture isn't a part of, you know what I'm saying, your day-to-day, then you niggas are lost. I don't know. I was going to say something else, but I couldn't think of nothing else better to say, but you niggas are lost. That's all I can say. Let me know what you think. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
See, and that's the thing. I don't think he's wrong, you know what I mean? I think he's right with what he said, but at the same time, and before I get into that, what he was saying, like, it's subtle things. Like, it could be the way you talk. If you don't talk, like, even talking country, I've been heard of people equated to talking ghetto. Like, when you country, some people equate it to talking ghetto. Or when you don't pronounce all your words, like what they call Gen Z slang now. That used to be ghetto like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They'll call you ghetto, like, why can't you talk right? Why can't you talk proper? But those same people will be in there talking like that now. So it's like, yeah, I get them. It could be subtle things. It could be subtle things. And I don't feel like people are lost if you don't feel like hood culture is a part of black culture. Like, if you grew up in the suburbs, and I feel like this is what pushes black people to become Republicans and stuff like that, because they grew up in the suburbs and they look at the hood culture on the TV and they're like, oh, the sagging the pants and the gold grill and the chains and all this and the gang banging, if I don't do that, I'm not black. And that's what's been portrayed as being a black American. So the world looks at it like that. Like, oh, that's what they are. That's what they do. They're gangbangers, stealers, thieves. And then we turn around and be like, well, why does the whole world look at us like we ain't shit? It's because we've been used as a tool. Well, certain black people have been used as a tool to portray us in a certain light. And we've been used as a tool for America to get influence all around the world. You know what I mean? To make America look like the American dream, the place to be. You know what I mean? So it works that way too. But I don't feel like they're lost. I feel like that's what pushes a lot of black people away from the black community, is that they don't feel that connection to that part of black aspect of black culture. So they're like, either that's not a piece of black culture because I don't feel that way, or I don't like that, or I'm not a part of black culture. And then they end up fighting with this thing in their head where they're like, that's not black culture at all because I don't identify with it. And there's plenty of people like me that don't identify with it, and that is true. You might be right. There's plenty of people who don't identify with it, but at the same time, it is a part of black culture. And just because you don't feel like it is, just because it doesn't identify with you, it's because you're not looking at the great aspects. Go to the hood, talk to the people from the hood, and you would actually understand what it's like living in the hood. You only hear the negative parts because ain't nobody gonna be happy about living in a shitty situation. But we make the best out of it. We make the happy moments in that shitty situation. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're from the suburbs, you can feel that too. Everything wasn't always good for you, or even if it was, you had your struggles and issues. But community and togetherness is what keeps y'all together. You know what I mean? So let's keep going.
Black people hold hood culture close to their hearts for some reason, because they're scared if they call it out, they're going to sound like some white person somewhere. We have all types of excuses for murderers, prostitutes, and scammers. But if you call out foolishness, you see it's, oh, when did you put your application in for the KKK, my nigga? Ooh, you must agree with George Zimmerman. Some little boy in a ski mask come riding through the hood. He ain't never been trained on how to use a gun. And he pull out the switch, hit your grandma and your dog. And you wake up like, I better not see no niggas in sweaters talking about this. That's what I know.
And look, I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse with this one. You know what I mean? Hood culture, street culture is two different things. I feel like people conflate it. Why not say the criminal activity or the criminal culture going on? Because every culture, I feel like, has a criminal aspect to it. With the Chinese, you got the Yakuza. With the, I forgot what the one was called for the Indians, but they have their own. The whole Middle East has all terrorist groups, terrorist organizations all throughout of it. Europe has their own mafia. Forgot they have plenty of them. They have Russian mobs and I'm sure you Romanian mobs, and bro, every culture has this criminal aspect to it. So if you want to speak on it, don't just name it hood culture, because that's saying that everybody in the hood does that, and it's not true. But I'm not gonna keep saying that. I'm gonna let the rest of this video ride out. Let's go.
And the hood is absolutely the epicenter and the authority of culture, because everything that y'all love about black culture and therefore popular culture at large is informed by the hood. All the swag, slang, and juice, it's not coming from the suburbs. It damn sure ain't coming off that military base Jermaine was raised on. It comes from the hood. So if it ain't a hood classic, it's not a classic. What the fuck are we talking about? Of course, somebody who's been making millions off of the culture for the past decade can only talk about it as a commodity. And even before you were a multi-millionaire rap mogul, you were just a visitor in the hood. You were only there to see your friends. You wasn't raised in the hood. So of course you don't know we was listening to MF Doom in the hood. Of course he doesn't have the cultural appreciation and value for the hood that it deserves, because for him, he hasn't had that experience. The hood has just been a source of content for his lyrics and inspiration for his rap persona. But the way that we talk, that's our language. The way that we dress, that's our fashions. Those are our customs. It's our whole way of life. It's our practices, our traditions. It's our culture. We have always been more than the way that capitalism commodifies us. And we've never been defined by that. It's so interesting the way that he places value based off of what white people have access to. Oh, well, the culture isn't what it used to be because the white girls can just pick up the slang like that off the internet, which they were doing that before the internet. Maybe it didn't spread as quickly, but they were doing that before the internet. He's just completely out of touch and unable to acknowledge it and recognize it like most multi-millionaire rap moguls are. The man that signed him has this same fucking problem. And Jay-Z is from the hood and he still struggles with that really bad. And I think that just speaks to how effective the industry is when it comes to changing them before they ever have the opportunity to change the industry. They just become a part of the program of exploiting the culture for multi-millions. And in Jay-Z's case, billions. And they don't understand the way that skews their relationship and their view of the culture. The culture will never be empty. You are.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna finish this one outside. I know I said I was gonna let the rest of it ride out. That was low key a trick bag, but let me say real quick that what she said about that been happening, them going online and taking the slang is true. If you read Malcolm X's biography, they've been going down to the black community, even when they didn't live there, and doing the same thing, stealing, and going back to their home where they can be safe and do all that. But I thank y'all for checking in though. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.